Example number 2, we want to be able to draw the hyperbola, and if you notice, this is already in standard form. We know that this is a hyperbola because it has a minus in between. We want to make this a fraction, so we're going to place it over 1. Now the first thing to be able, since it's already in standard form, the first thing is to be able to find the center. Now remember, your center is your h and your k. This is a -2. Remember, it's always the opposite. And actually, we want the h first, which is the one with the x, so that's -1. Your k will be +2. That is your center of the hyperbola, -1 and up to, and label it with a C. Now, we want to be able to find other points on, we want to be able to find other points to be able to form our box and to shape our asymptotes. Now under the x there's a 1, so we're going to go to the right 1 because the square of 1 is 1, and to the left 1. Under the y there's a 25, the square of 25 is 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I know some of us are more comfortable if we actually write it down. So a will be 1, and b, the square of 25 is 5. It's under the x, so I went to the sides, 1. It's under the y, so I went to the up 5 and down 5. From here, I can go ahead and draw my corners of this box that's going to help us shape our asymptotes, or just draw them. I'm going to use my ID to draw them. Remember, you want to be able to draw them with as a dashed line. There's one. And there's other. We want to be able to decide if our hyperbola is going to be going sideways or if our hyperbola will be up and down. If you notice that y is the one that's positive, or just first, written first, that means that it's going to go up and down. I'm going to start my vertex. That means that this is my vertex. And I'm going to get closer and closer to the asymptote, but never touching it or crossing it. I'm going to do the same thing above. And start my vertex, closer to the asymptote, and getting closer to the asymptote. Now I need to be able to find the focus. To find the focus, we need to be able to find C, because C is the distance from the center to where the focus is located. We're going to use the same formula. C squared is equal to A squared plus B squared. If this is a minus, your formula will have a plus. Remember, your focus has to end up inside the hyperbola. C squared is what we're looking for, or actually C. A squared will be just 25, or actually in this case will be 1. B squared will be 5 times 5 is 25. Most of the time I just say, okay, 25 plus 1, since those already are squared, and that's 26. We take the square root on both sides, so C is equal to the square root of 26. Now 5 times 5 is 25, so square root of 25 is 5. And this is just one more, so this is going to be 5.1. Remember, we are estimating the square root. Your focus will be inside the parabola, the hyperbola. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.1, very close to the vertex. And from your center, we're going to go up 5, and that is your other focus. The last thing that we need to do, we need to be able to find the equation of both asymptotes, and I'm going to do that on the left-hand side. Now, let me see if I can zoom out. I'm going to go and find the equation of the asymptote. To find the equation of the asymptotes, I'm going to go back to Algebra 1, and I'm going to go use the points law form, which is y minus y1 is equal to mx minus x1. I have to select a point that is on the line, and in this case, because I have two lines and I want to do it at the same time, I'm going to select a point that's on both lines, which is the center. Your h and your k is a point on both lines. And it just works nicely when you do it this way. Y, let me just write down above, -1 and 2, x and y, or h and k. And we are going to write it down as y minus 2 is equal to plus or minus your slope. I'll come back to the slope in a second. X, this is a -1. Remember, it's the opposite, so +1. Negative and negative is a positive. Now for your slope, we need to be able to find your slope, which is up 5 and to the right 1. A lot of the times I'll grab my slope from here. It's the rise over the run. So it'll be 5 over 1 or just 5. There's no need to be able to simplify your equations at this point. You can just leave it on point slope form. That'll be sufficient for this lesson.